Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we are starting off our first project where we are having a chat with ChatGPT to build us a business project that we can use to build the solutions for over the course of the next few weeks. And ideally, I just logged into ChatGPT with my account and I have a draft there that I'm going to query it. And without much further ado, let's just dive right into it. So there you go. I need you to draft me a business project that I could build solutions for. Pardon my grammar. Come up with a project that entails a business idea to convert from a brick and mortar approach to running the business online. Pick any specific niche industry and outline a background of the business. Generate a befitting brand name. Illustrate a hypothetical customer pain the business is trying to alleviate by moving online. Set up a project objective, or objectives in plural, vision and mission. Set out the short term, medium term, and long term goals of this business. Set up measurable goals to be achieved when building a solution to this project. And clearly spell out the business requirements for this use case project, assuming the role of a business analyst. Over to you, ChatGPT. Let's go. It looks like it thought about it for a minute and it started producing some results. So I see the background is there and there's a brand name and there's a customer pain and there are some project objectives. So I think we just hit pause here for a second and just have a look at what's there. From what I can gather from the results there, you can see that it's given us a background of just a basic local bakery shop that does homemade bread, pastries, and cakes. And for some reason, there is a hypothetical customer pain as such that there's a customer base that are having inconvenience in getting their hands on your products. So there are product objectives there that you need to create an online store to increase sales by reaching a wider customer base, to improve customer satisfaction by offering shipping options, and if it's possible to streamline the ordering process by automating certain tasks. So you can see from here that, creating an online store where people can just order a product, then it can be shipped to them would be a good business solution to them. So we can proceed and see what else it has in stock for us. We have a vision statement, we have a mission statement, and the hypothetical company has certain short-term goals within the first year. It has certain medium-term goals within 2 to 3 years. It has certain long-term goals within 5 years. It has measurable goals. So these are goals that they would like to be able to measure to know that they're on the track to doing something that they prefer, something that they plan to. Then we'll basically, maybe I'll just call this project bread and butter. And then, yeah, so that's the project that we have. But there are a couple of things in here that we might need to take a critical look at and see if we can get it to refine it and give us some more perspectives. So I feel like, a project like this is not really going to be done like at a go. We need to, confine it in a specific setting. So from an agile perspective, I'm wondering, can ChatGPT tell us what timeline we can, apply to the solution? And it's telling us how we can break it down into different agile phases, so different sprints. So we have, basically within 2 to 4 weeks, you should be able to achieve these. And I think it has about 5 iterations where we need to be able to develop these. If you're having the idea of creating a minimum viable product at certain point, I think this is what to follow. And so basically, this is the project being produced by ChatGPT. And I'm thinking about some other ideas as well. So now that we have the rough ideas, from a business analyst perspective, so we have the requirements. And from an agile sprint perspective, in an average of 2 weeks, we need to be in the first iteration, we need to be able to develop an MVP, which is basically be able to create a website that will be able to display the products that can be browsed and items can be added to cart to checkout. And in the second sprint, we should be able to at least incorporate a payment gateway where people can add orders to cart and try to check out, and maybe also test a website to see if there's anything that's needed to be fixed. Moving on to the other iterations, which is 3 and 4, and basically is talking about you being able to integrate an inventory management system. And the subsequent iteration has more about testing and making further improvements with the website design, tweaking it a little bit, and also seeing if you can add a CRM system to manage inventory. Finally, iteration 5 just basically talks about creating a social media strategy, which we can do, and also expanding the product line to include vegan products. What normally happens in the company setting is ideally they would like to transpose this rough ideas into something that is a project plan. So we have certain platforms that you can use. I've been talking about a certain one that is very simple to use that I know of, simply called Basecamp. So maybe I can just ask ChatGPT to translate this into Basecamp. So if I were to use Basecamp platform to put this project on it, how can I go about it? That's basically what I'm asking ChatGPT here. And you can see that it's giving me the steps on how to, you know, move or transpose that project idea onto Basecamp. And I can see that it has given us about 8 steps in total where you can actually move that idea onto Basecamp. So I'm seeing a couple of things there that it's saying you should do, but it sounds more generic. And because I have some familiarity with Basecamp, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT to give us some specifics in terms of to-do lists. How can I transpose this into lists? So what can you tell me to do from the first task to the last task? And if ChatGPT can tell me how to transpose that into that list format from start to finish in a logical order such that one had to lead to the next one, and in the end when they're all mutually cohesive, when you're able to fulfill them in that logical order, you're actually heading towards creating that minimal viable product to the final product. So it's saying there that with regards to that step, this is what you need to do. And so do the research, create the website, do the marketing, and then think about CRM, think about testing and refinement, and then launch and maintenance. You might be wondering, so I've been talking about Basecamp, and you're wondering what is Basecamp and how does it look like? Don't worry, I would be showing you in a minute. So if you see from my screen here, you can see a basic overview of what Basecamp looks like. So at the moment, this is the lineup that shows the latest activity in terms of what I've chosen and what I've selected or created in my to-dos in a project. So everything that I have set out to do chronologically, you can see it been lined up there. And I have a sample, for instance, I have a project that I could show you, which is maybe when I was having a project to build a home IT lab. And those are the to-dos of things I needed to be done. And once they were done, I had to take them that they're done. So for instance, if I go into the to-do list for that IT lab that I showed you there, you can see there that I have a whole long list of things to do. And the first one was to configure Server 2016. And if you click into it, you can see that it gives you the details that you can assign the tasks to someone who you have invited into the Basecamp. You can set a date, and you can have an overview of all the other to-dos. And all this is within the Home IT Lab project. And within that as well, you have other things that you can do, like share documents, create schedules, automatic check-ins, message board, add some more people, and and you can also have an overview of all the things that have been done so far under the projects. Like Monday, they are done that. Wednesday, Sunday, Saturday, I had a whole lot of tasks that I needed to be done that I needed to tick off. And when that's all done, you know that you're heading towards completion. And it is capable of being applied to other projects, like you can see for the making a podcast, customer support, and you can see how making a podcast was being used to create a project. So if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, I hit the notification button, and watch out for the next video, which is basically showing how we transpose a project onto Basecamp. See you in the next video. Thanks.